Hello, everyone. Welcome to Engineering Futures, a virtual discussion of scholarship opportunities for future engineers from the Chicagoland area. I'm Kelly Francis, the Executive Director of Calculated Genius, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping underrepresented youth connect and explore to engineering to support a brighter future. We have a great program today, presented in partnership with Chicago Engineers Foundation and Just the Right Amount. All of us working to offer resources to students poised to be the next generation of engineers. Thank you for being here. Today is part of National Engineers Week. This was founded in 1951 and is an annual week-long celebration dedicated to ensuring a diverse and well-educated future engineering workforce. This year's theme, Reimagining the Possible, recognizes how engineers create new possibilities, from green buildings to fuel-efficient cars to life-saving vaccines. By working together, engineers develop new technologies, products, and opportunities that change the way we live. This Engineers Week, we hope you will take a moment to learn something new about engineering. Our agenda today will introduce you to local scholarship opportunities for engineering students, Chicago Public Schools scholarship.
You just didn't get confirmation.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Participants, if you can mute yourself as you enter, we would appreciate it. Thank you. And research and scholarship tips from Just the Right Amount, a scholarship consulting firm. At the end of the presentations, we will have a question and answer session where you could feel free to unmute yourself or use the chat feature to ask any questions that you might have. At this time, I would like to welcome Debbie Burrell from the Chicago Engineers Foundation.
On behalf of the Chicago Engineers Foundation, I'm pleased to tell you about our opportunities for Chicago students. We are a student-focused organization here in the city of Chicago, and we offer both learning opportunities as well as scholarships, which we call our incentive awards, and they are merit-based scholarship opportunities that are available to students annually. Our awards are renewable through a student's 4 years of undergraduate study. If a student comes into our program and receives an award as a graduating high school senior, they then can continue to reapply as they continue to meet our eligibility criteria over 4 years of study for a total value of $5,600 over 4 years. Our entry award for a graduating high school student is $1,200. And it includes access to career resources, so mentoring, resume evaluations, mock interview sessions, and access to internship placement. So we do a lot of different things with our students as they enter our program and stay with us, hopefully over those 4 years. For students to qualify for our application, it's open, of course, to graduating high school seniors who are either living or going to high school within the city of Chicago. So, of course, any Chicago Public School student is eligible to apply. But in addition to that, suburban students who might be attending private or parochial schools in the city of Chicago, or vice versa, Chicago students who live in the city but are attending private or parochial or charter schools outside in the Chicago suburbs. Our students also do need to be studying some type of engineering in college starting in fall of 2022, so this upcoming fall semester. In addition to completing our online application, our students need to provide an acceptance letter from an ABET accredited 4-year undergraduate engineering program. Their university does not have to be in the city of Chicago, just the student, that's where y'all start from. But it can literally be any 4-year undergraduate engineering program across the country. And our students literally attend schools from coast to coast. Our application is open right now. It is open through April 1st. It's online. Students can access our application either through CPS Academic Works if you're a CPS student, or you can go to our website, which is chicagoengineersfoundation.org for more details.
Thank you, Debbie. The Calculated Genius Demonist Scholarship offers scholarships to female graduating high school seniors from the greater Chicagoland area. You do not have to be a CPS student in order to apply for our scholarship. This is open to suburban students as well. And we look to offer scholarships to students that are studying engineering or computer science in college. Every year, we offer a minimum of 15 scholarship awards up to $5,000. And these come in 3 tiers: $1,000, $2,000, and $5,000. Along with the scholarship award, students have access to career development workshops as well as one-on-one mentoring throughout the year for our program. Since 2020, Calculated Genius has offered $86,000 in scholarships to 32 phenomenal women from the Chicagoland area. And we are super excited to continue this program this year. Applications can be found on our website at calculatedgenius.org/scholarships. And we have until April 15th of 2022 to apply.
Another scholarship opportunity out there for future engineers in the city and suburban areas is through APWA, which is the American Public Works Association. The APWA Metro chapter has numerous opportunities, and it's for training, education, and degree programs. So lots of different ways that one could get scholarships or grants through APWA. Their scholarships are offered at many different levels. They have regional and local chapters in the city, Southwest, Fox Valley, Lake, and suburban areas. And so one can look for any of these chapters via the apwa.net website. The City of Chicago branch has opportunities for both full or part-time students who are planning to pursue degrees as associate, bachelor, or graduate level students. And they're looking to provide awards to students who are going to be studying in public works career fields. And that includes many different types of engineering. Graduating high school students are encouraged to apply. And again, chicago.apwa.net, search scholarships, and you'll find all the details.
Thank you. Another awesome opportunity for students is the ComEd Future of Energy program. It provides students with scholarship awards ranging from $2,500 to $10,000, along with the chance to pursue a ComEd internship where students will gain direct career experience in the energy industry. This scholarship is open to those who are enrolled in an eligible degree program, which includes engineering, business, finance, IT, chemistry, mathematics, data analytics, computer science, environmental, and natural resources. So many of those STEM majors. Students should also be earning at least a 2.8 GPA, and priority is given to people of color, women, those with financial needs, and most especially Illinois residents enrolled at Illinois university or colleges across the country, as well as students that are enrolling at HBCUs across the country. The deadline for this opportunity is March 28th of 2022, and it can be found not only on the ComEd's website, but at https://need.force.com/ComEd/scholarship information. Sorry, that was a mouthful, but this is a really great opportunity for students.
ASCE is the American Society of Civil Engineers. They have an Illinois section, and this is a really cool opportunity for an engineering camp scholarship to attend their Notre Dame event this summer. This is for slightly younger students. It's a full scholarship to attend the program that includes tuition, room, board, and transportation. Eligibility is for students who are from Cook and the Collier counties and completing their 3rd year. So we're looking at our high school juniors and who have completed at least 3 years of high school level mathematics and 1 year of science. They have 2 two-week sessions, one towards the end of June and one in mid-July. And during these 2 weeks, the students will literally get a taste of college life on campus at Notre Dame. They're going to tour the computer facilities. They're going to meet engineering faculty from the College of Engineering. They're going to be learning about career opportunities, and they're going to be meeting a ton of professional engineers. This is a great one, again, for the students who aren't quite graduating high school, but are getting there next year. So the deadline for this is coming up March 4th. So take a look. And ASCE also has several scholarship opportunities. So check out all of their websites. when you are looking for different opportunities, not just this camp, but scholarships as well for future civil engineers.
The Chicago Roofing Contractors Association has a scholarship, $5,000 renewable scholarship to a high school senior entering college this coming fall semester. They also look to award students that are pursuing undergraduate degree programs from accredited four-year colleges for liberal arts and sciences, engineering, architecture, or business. This is eligible for United States citizens residing in Cook and other area counties with an ACT of 30 or greater and an SAT of 1390 or greater. The deadline for this opportunity is coming up on March 4th of 2022. And more information on the scholarship can be found on their website at cra.org/CRA Foundation. We'll also include that in the chat for you.
And we are recording this session, so at the end, we will be sending out a link so that you can review this over and over again. We're also happy to share our slides, so we'll be sending the slide deck to all of our registered participants. And now we're going to talk about APWA, which is the Intellectual Property Law Association of Chicago. Their scholarships are awarded annually to graduating high school seniors who are attending CPS schools, and they have a minimum of a 2.7 GPA. Students are eligible. Students are eligible if they are CPS students. If you are outside the city of Chicago public school system, this one would not apply to you. But for our CPS students, majors that they consider in their applications are all engineering, any type of science, and pre-law. The application is available through the CPS Academic Works database, and students will need to provide both a transcript as well as their ACT or SAT scores with their submission. This one's coming up pretty soon. Their deadline is March 11th, 2022, and you can go to iplac.org for details.
Next up is SHIP, which is the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, and they have an opportunity called Scholarship, which provides graduating high school seniors who are beginning a STEM undergraduate career at a community college or four-year university with scholarships. They also provide scholarship opportunities for undergraduate and graduate students who are pursuing a degree at an accredited university. All of their scholarship opportunities can be found on their website at ship.org. And the deadline for the high school scholarship opportunity is April 30th of 2022.
And now there's SWE, which is the Society of Women Engineers. They have a Chicago regional section, and they award two different types of scholarships annually. The first is 3 to 5 scholarships that'll be awarded to graduating high school seniors who are pursuing degrees in engineering or in computer sciences. One scholarship will also be awarded to a current undergraduate student who is studying engineering or computer science at an accredited college or university. So this is one to not only apply for now, but to bookmark for the following year if you're going to be pursuing engineering when you are an undergraduate. Their applicants do need to be female, and they must live in specific Illinois or Indiana zip codes within the Chicago region. They have a deadline of April 1st at the end of the day. If you go to chicago.swe.org, they have a scholarship page, and that's where you can see all of the particular zip codes that they serve.
Next up, we wanted to share some opportunities that are available for students past their high school years. So these are ones to definitely keep in mind even once you enter school. Like Debbie mentioned, we will be sharing the recording as well as the slides for you to click on each of these opportunities, so you don't have to be rushing to write them down. But the American Society of Civil Engineers has scholarships for undergraduate and graduate ASCE members who are pursuing degrees in civil engineering at UIC, UIUC, IIT, and Northwestern. High Tech Foundation offers scholarships from high school all the way through graduate level students for those interested in technology. There are many engineering degrees that fit this opportunity, so we definitely encourage you to check out that. IEEE is the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, and they provide scholarships to college students working toward electronic or electrical engineering degrees. Next up is the National Society of Professional Engineers. This is a great group to keep on your radar for opportunities that they have, as well as the National Society of Black Engineers. The Structural Engineer Foundation provides scholarships to current civil engineering or architectural engineering undergraduate and graduate students. And lastly, the Institute of Transportation Engineers Illinois section also provides undergraduate and graduate scholarships for students with a career goal in transportation engineering or planning. At this time, we would love to welcome Mr. House and Zachary Jesse with the Chicago Public Schools Office of College and Career Success.
Would you mind if we started screen sharing?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Good evening, everyone. While Zach sets up, I am Herbert House. I am the Senior Project Manager over Scholarships and Academic Works. And with me, I have.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Zachary Jesse. I'm the Scholarship Support Specialist for the district, and I've been doing this scholarship work for around 5 years now. I'm excited to share with you all tonight. So in Chicago Public Schools, we tend to partner with a lot of different scholarship providers like the Chicago Engineers Foundation and Calculated Genius, who are hosting this event tonight. And we like to call those strategic scholarships. So we're working with those partners to ensure that they yield some CPS winners. These organizations could be companies, institutions, foundations, could be individual or family foundations. But what they all have in common is that they want to target Chicago public school students or Chicago students or Illinois students. And I just want to share that the CPS class of 2021 did earn over $1 billion in scholarship dollars last year. And any CPS students on this call, we expect you to be a part of that number growing larger for this upcoming graduating class. We're excited to make those connections to get you connected to scholarships. So in CPS, we use a scholarship management tool called CPS Academic Works, and the link is at the top there. It's cps.academicworks.com. We've been using this tool since around 2014. It holds all of our scholarships, information, links. Some applications are completed within the system. So CPS students, you are able to go to that link and sign in and be matched to certain scholarships. You can apply directly to scholarships once you've completed what we call a general application, which is kind of similar to what a Common App is, just capturing your general academic information, extracurriculars, all that good stuff that'll help you match to scholarships. So we promote around 200 different opportunities through this system throughout the entire school year. You may log on and not see a whopping 200 scholarships in front of you at that time, but just know that over the entire school year, there's around 200 scholarships being promoted to you. And the people that are using this system are obviously the students. You're signing in, completing applications. Your counselors are using this as well. They're signing in to complete your transcript requests for scholarships. They're completing your letters of recommendations. And the scholarship providers are also using the system. If they are one of our internal opportunities where they're where students are completing their application by signing in. The providers are scoring your applications by signing in. They are looking at all of your general application information and figuring out who's moving on to the process. And we know that around 10,000 students use this system yearly. And we're excited to connect you all to it today. Now, through Academic Works, we share a lot of automated emails. So once you sign in and you start filling out some information on Academic Works, you are going to be sort of recommended scholarships, or you're going to be notified of upcoming, you haven't fulfilled a transcript here, or we're still waiting on a recommendation here. So you're getting a lot of different automated emails from the system. So what we have in this slide deck, which we will also provide to the team here so they can share it out with you all, is this filter for your email account, because we know that a lot of emails get lost in all the craziness that happens in your primary inbox. And we've heard from students, some emails are headed to your spam, or some are headed to a promotions folder. This filter that we've outlined steps on setting up will ensure that all of your scholarship related emails will reach your primary inbox, and they'll be pushed into a scholarship emails folder for you to review as you see fit. And now I'll toss it to Mr. House.
So students and families, one of the things we want you guys to do is have all of our resources at your fingertips. So we want you to compose an email to collegescholarships@cps.edu. Again, collegescholarships@cps.edu, subject line scholarship session. And once you do that, you'll hit refresh. And once you hit refresh, you will get, ta-da, our auto response. Our auto response houses all of our scholarship resources at your fingertips. So what it started off with is our SY 21-22 scholarship starter guide for students. It shows you scholarships that we've hosted the last couple of years, so you can go through and look at which scholarships you want to apply for. Then you can sign up for our scholarship manager email blast, where I will send you weekly scholarships, alerts, updates about events and anything happen around post-secondary that CPS students can avail themselves to. And then if you missed the email, we have our scholarship email log, where you can go through and look at every email that Zach and I have sent out regarding scholarship, again, or any post-secondary opportunity from August up until now. And then you guys get to check out our live scholarship alert workbook. This is updated weekly with new scholarship opportunities, as well as other pre-collegiate programs. And then you can review our scholarship planning guide, again, to see what scholarships we already had. So if there's something that's coming up and that your GPA is a little shy, you say, I could look at this scholarship, it's coming up in June, and so I could boost my GPA up to apply for that. And then our CPS Google Calendar, you could bookmark it. The great thing about our CPS Google Scholarship Calendar is it focuses in all the Learn, Plan, Succeed criteria that you guys need for graduation in CPS, as well as when scholarships go live, as well as their deadlines. And Zach already talked about Academic Works. So this is what it looks like when you're signing up for the Scholarship Manager email blast. It's a simple opt-in form. You guys will fill that out, and then weekly you get an email from us about scholarships or any other post-secondary opportunity that you guys can participate in. So this is a screenshot of the scholarship alert workbook. The great thing about it is scholarships for grades starting in elementary school up through 12th grade. So you can see right there by the tabs, you can click on, if you have a younger sibling in elementary school, there's scholarships for them. But if you're a 9th to 11th grader, we have scholarships for you. And then seniors, your scholarships look a little different. Your scholarships will now, you will see them by the deadline of the month. So we're in February, and I know it's closing fast. We have some scholarship that's closing next week. And then you can click on March deadline and see which scholarships are available, in the month of March. And this is our CPS Google Calendar. Again, you could bookmark our Google Calendar. It has all of our scholarship dates in there. Again, Learn, Plan, Succeed stuff. And anytime one of our strategic partners is hosting a workshop like tonight, it's on our Google Calendar so that you won't miss any post-secondary or scholarship events or workshops. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. And also connect with us on all social media platforms at CPS Scholarships. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The great thing about our social media is not only are we promoting scholarships and other opportunities that our students can avail themselves to, but entities will add us looking for students to participate in their program, in their workshop. So following us serves two purposes. You get CPS scholarship information, but then also you get to find out more about our strategic partners and what they have to offer. Remember, students, if you follow us, we won't follow back, but make sure you do follow us to get all of our great information. And then our link tree. Our link tree is a one-stop shop for all scholarship resources. And the great thing about our link tree, it houses our academic works. It has a link to our scholarship alert workbook. You can sign up for the email blast. You can view all scholarship emails. Again, our Google Calendar is there. But the biggest highlight about our link tree is our DePaul virtual essay editing, and it's free. So the DePaul Writing Center partner with Chicago Public Schools. And so any student can, if you're working on a paper or a personal statement for college, a research paper for English or social studies class, you guys can use DePaul virtual essay editing, and the college students will edit your essay and send it back to you within 2 to 3 days. Edit. So you don't have to wait for a teacher to mark it up. You don't have to wait for a counselor. If you want a college student to look at it or a grad student to look at your essay and give you their feedback, again, take advantage of our DePaul virtual essay editing. And you can find our link tree link on our Instagram page. So scholarships. When we talk about scholarships, do know approximately 20% of the scholarships that you will do research on your own are fraudulent. And we want to make sure that we give you guys some tips to look for any red flags to know that this scholarship should not be completed. If the scholarship is requesting personal bank information, your social security number, requires an application fee, states you're guaranteed to win, or that the funds will be sent to you via wire transfer, Western Union, PayPal, or even Cash App, do know those are fraudulent scholarships and you should not complete those applications, okay? Also, if the scholarship is hosted on a blog site, if you see grammatical or inconsistency or unprofessional language, it requires sharing for likes on your social media. If the URL does not match the company name, if it requires you to send in detailed financial or tax information to an unsecured email, if there's no provider contact information for follow-up. Also, if there's no evidence of previous winners, or if it contains an invalid or out of the country phone number. Again, those are red flags. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Stop completing that application right there in your tracks. Those are not scholarships you should be applying for. All right. So some final tips. What I want to make sure you guys understand is that when you're applying for a scholarship, everything you need to know about the scholarship is on the application or in the documents that come with it or on the website. So make sure you guys read, and read it thoroughly to make sure you're not missing anything. Check your email. Loads of information can get lost in your email just by you not checking it. And I know how time consuming it can get, but just make sure you don't want to miss out on a great opportunity all because you did not reply to a scholarship saying, hey, yes, I want this scholarship. One of the things I always tell our CPS students is make sure you guys have an accountability partner. You need someone that's going to push you to get the application completed, not just started. We see a lot of applications drafted in academic works, but we want to make sure we are seeing that number of completed applications increase. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to email us at collegescholarships@cps.edu. Zach and I have no problem answering your questions. And to seniors, do know that no one owes you anything. Scholarships are not guaranteed, but they can help you. And you must know how you're going to pay for college. So take advantage of that. All right. Are there any questions?
And I'm also going to drop, I created a little log of some STEM scholarships that we promoted throughout the year. I'm going to drop that in the chat as well, just for planning purposes.
Well, thank you guys for your time. And again, if any questions come later, Zach and I are here. We are a resource. Please feel free to email us at collegescholarships@cps.edu. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, Mr. House and Mr. Jesse. You are beyond a wealth of information on all things scholarship, and we are so glad that you are with us here today. We couldn't do a scholarship workshop without the folks in the CPS Scholarship Department. You guys are the ones. And so we so appreciate everything you're doing, both at CPS and everything you're doing with us and all the other workshops that you're doing. So now we've heard from the scholarship providers, you've heard from the scholarship team. And now we're going to hear from someone who has the great unique perspective of being a scholarship consultant, but also recipient of student scholarships himself, as well as a mentor. And so I am beyond pleased to introduce the founder of Just the Right Amount. It is a scholarship consulting firm, and it was founded by Kevin B. Banks Jr., who's here with us today. Kevin is a Chicago native. He is a CPS and Milwaukee School of Engineering graduate. He attended Lindblom, and he is a recipient of many, many different scholarships and awards as a student. He's going to talk more about finding scholarship opportunities from a student and mentor perspective. And before I introduce Kevin, just a reminder, throw any questions you might have into the chat. We're all here from the student perspective, the provider's perspective, the scholarship team perspective, to offer any and all advice you may have. And so, Kevin, with that, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Debbie and Kelly, for having me. Really excited to be here to talk to you all about scholarships, especially, can you all hear me okay? Yes, okay. Especially given the fact that we're talking about this during Engineers Week. As a fellow engineer myself, it's very valuable to have the ability to talk to the next great engineers and great leaders in the STEM space. So I will be brief because I do want to answer more questions than kind of go over talking points. But as Debbie mentioned, Just the Right Amount LLC is a scholarship coaching and consulting firm that was born out of my own personal experience gaining scholarships for college. As Debbie mentioned, I'm a Lindblom alum, so during my senior year in 2013, wow, that feels like almost a decade ago, because it is, I received roughly $24,000 in independent scholarship money to go to my undergraduate institution. Now, mind you, that $24,000 I received was with a 27 ACT and a 2.7 unweighted GPA. So when I'm talking to you about scholarships, I'm coming from the perspective of somebody that understood how to best apply, not somebody that was a 4.0, 30 plus ACT, SAT score equivalent student. So really excited to let you all know that scholarships are something that you can receive. It's something that is doable for you. In terms of how did I go about doing that? So sorry, they're saying they're having trouble hearing me. Hold on one second.
Is that better? That's better? Okay, perfect. So as I just mentioned, received $24,000 coming out of my undergraduate or out of my senior year of high school with a 27 ACT and a 2.7 unweighted GPA. So again, not 4.0 student, not 30 plus ACT score. So I'm telling you that to let you know that it's doable if you understand how to best apply. And so of the 24 that I received, my institution gave me another 24. So I had 48,000 for my first year, which only left me about $3,000 or $4,000 in student loans for that first year. But what I did not understand was the value of renewable versus non-renewable scholarship money. And so of the 24 that I brought, 50% of it was gone when I became a college freshman. I had to find that additional money and then also meet the gap that I had throughout my 4 years of undergrad. So in total, I received roughly $175,000 in scholarship money for my undergraduate institution. But the number I'm most proud of is the 68 that I got independent of my school. Why am I most proud of that? It's because it was due to my hard work and efforts, finding scholarships in my college days, making sure I got good money from CEF, which I am an alum of, and a board of directors of. Really grateful for their funding throughout my undergraduate institution years to be able to fund my degree. And so what we do with Just the Right Amount LLC is we teach students how to best apply. Anytime you submit an application for a scholarship, there's going to be a score associated with everything you put on there, from your GPA to your ACT score, to the essays you write, to the letters of recommendation you submit, to the amount of community service hours you've done, and as well to the letters of rec, essays, community service hours, and then if they ask for a resume, what's on your resume? So all of those things give you a score. So let's just say, for example, the 6 things I listed, you apply for a scholarship, the total score that you can get is 100 points. Well, each of those categories will break down based on what the scale is. So for a GPA, for example, the maximum amount of points you can get may be dependent upon whether or not you have a 3.51 to a 4.0. So everything on your application is going to have a score, and it matters. So what we do with Just the Right Amount is we we teach students how to put their best selves on their applications so they can maximize the points that they get in each section across the application as a whole. And then from there, that will allow them to meet the minimum threshold to move from one round to the next, and then ultimately at the end, receive a scholarship check. So in terms of some numbers for the students that we've supported, so to date, we've supported 8 students exclusively, not including our current class of students. Of those 8, 7 of them have received some form of non-institutional scholarship money to go to their undergraduate institution, ranging in the amount of $1,000 to $190,000. And then of those 8, 3 of them are full rides at their respective institutions, such as Georgia State University, Howard, and then DePaul University. So we're really proud of the work that we've done with students to be able to help them maximize their funding. And then the other thing that we tell students is that the scholarship game does not stop when you graduate and become a college student. There are still scholarship opportunities that you can take advantage of as a college student at the undergraduate level, the master's level, and the PhD level. So in terms of what does that mean for you all? That means that if you don't get all the funding you need now between now and when you enroll, that's okay. The reason why is because once you enroll in your respective institution, you've committed to that school. Now you can really start to maximize the funding that's there. And so something that each of you all should know is that for the schools that you're considering, or if you've committed to, there are going to be scholarship opportunities specifically at those schools. So if I had some tips to give you on where to start finding money if you're lacking or if you need more, the first place I would start is look at the school that you're either seriously considering or that you've committed to. Go to their financial aid website, or if they have a scholarship portal, look at the opportunities that are open for incoming freshmen and apply to those. Make sure you are maximizing the amount of scholarships that you're applying for at the institution that you seriously are going to, or the 1 or 2 institutions that you're seriously considering, because I know you all may still be making decisions. That's going to be able to help you get more money for the school that you want to go to ultimately. Second tip would be to take advantage of the information that's been provided here today. All of the resources and scholarship programs that have been listed here today are open to you all right now, in some cases exclusively because you're a CPS student. So that means your competition is less. You may be competing with the other young men and young women that are on this call, but you're not competing with the entire nation. So that's a value add as well. And then the third tip that I would give you is start to go on social media and look at different scholarship posts. I know our partners with the CPS Academics Work team told you a lot about what to look for to know when a scholarship is a scam. So once you've identified scholarships that aren't a scam, if you're not eligible for them right now, save them on your Instagram feed or send them to yourself and then put them within your own internal database. So that way you can be ready to apply for them this time, next year or in 2 years when you're eligible. And then the fourth thing I would say is for students that may be going to either HBCUs, or if you're Black and Brown, the NAACP has scholarships specifically for you. And then the Thurgood Marshall College Fund has scholarships that are specifically for you. And I will say specifically to Thurgood Marshall, their scholarships for the 2022-2023 academic year are closing on Monday the 28th. So if you have not heard of them, please go to their website, take a look and see which ones you're eligible for. You may be eligible for as many as 7 or 8. You may only be eligible for 1 or 2. However many you're eligible for, please apply today. And then my last tip is just don't be discouraged, right? So for every application that you get denied for, that just means that wasn't the right opportunity for you. During my senior year, I think I applied to roughly 50 scholarships throughout my entire senior year. And due to not knowing how to best apply, and also my GPA and ACT score, I only received about 10 of those, so about 20%. But that 20% was able to get me jump started on financing my undergraduate degree. And then I was able to learn, iterate, and then improve upon my skills to then get more funding when I was at my current institution. So those will be the tips that I have for you. Oh, one last tip. If you decide to get involved in a professional society like a SHIP, like a SWE, like a NSBE, like an IEEE, please make sure that your membership is active, so that way you can be eligible to apply for those scholarships. Depending on if you're applying for the national organization scholarships, you will have to have an active membership in most cases. If you're applying more so for the local, then that may not be a requirement. So remember, take advantage of the scholarships for professional organizations that you're either affiliated with or that you're interested in at the national as well as the local level. And I'm happy to take any questions along with everybody else, all the other panelists that are here also.
Thank you so much for those tips, Kevin. We are now going to open this up for questions. Feel free to unmute yourself or go in the chat. We are all here to provide resources and support to you as you are seeking out scholarship opportunities. I think one amazing thing that Kevin shared is not to be discouraged if a scholarship opportunity maybe says that the minimum GPA is 3.0. I definitely would say still apply to these opportunities if you're close. You never know what the pool of applicants might be for that year. And even for Calculated Genius specifically, those things come into account when we're grading and scoring the application. So definitely don't be discouraged about something that you might think would limit you from eligibility.
And as we're waiting for some questions, some more behind the scenes, if you will, from the scholarship provider perspective. If there are optional sections on the application, we might say, feel free to use this space to tell us more about yourself, and it's optional, or feel free to upload something and it's optional. Yes, they are optional, but boy, do we look at those. And you will get extra points in our scoring system if you put in a resume. As a high school student, to have a resume doesn't have to be anything fancy, but just use a nice little template and put together a resume about things that you've done, especially things that are specific to that particular scholarship. So as an example, if it's an engineering scholarship, talk about some STEM things you did in high school, talk about some interests you may have, upload a portfolio. Bonus points, bonus points, bonus points will come to you when we are grading your application if we're seeing things that are setting you apart from your peers. So things like I said, resumes, portfolios, tell us a little bit more about yourself. And definitely take advantage, like Mr. House said, in those opportunities for someone to proofread what you're putting in. If you can go through the folks at DePaul, boy, is that a cool thing. That's an awesome opportunity, but you're also welcome. None of us, I don't find us scary. I hope you don't find us scary. And so if you have questions or you want us to look at something before you turn it in, I will say right now, if you email Chicago Engineers Foundation, CEF@chicagoengineersfoundation.org or awards@chicagoengineersfoundation.org, before our deadline, April 1st, if you want to send me a draft essay and you want me to have someone take a look at it from our volunteers, more than willing to do it. And I think the other folks here today would do the same, or I'm calling them out, sorry, but
absolutely. And I
go.
think the key to it is before the deadline. I think
Yes.
if we know that students are prepared and, setting themselves up for success, they're looking at something well in advance of when it is due. That's when I have the time to provide an extra set of eyes to any application questions that you might have.
Yeah, so we're more than happy to look at things in advance. Our particular application for our purposes is all online. It is fully open between now and April 1st, and students can go in and out as often as they like, and it auto saves. And so if you're writing your essay, but you want to take and have someone look at it first, you can just stop what you're doing. It'll auto save and you go back in later. With some of the other scholarships, put them on Word first before you turn them in if it's a one and done kind of an application, so that if you want to take your time and you want to look over that essay before it goes into IEEE or Thurgood Marshall, wherever it's going, start a Word doc first and fill out all of the particulars and then put it into your quote unquote final draft that you're going to send in. While ours allows for that back and forth, not all of them do. And so just look out for that so that you're making sure that your proofreading is good, you're not missing anything, and you're uploading all your stuff by the deadline. And someone just asked about the slide deck. And so all of our registered guests today, if they registered for this session, we're going to be sending you a link to the entire presentation so you can view it later. But we're also going to be sending a PDF of that slide deck. So don't worry, we've got you. We have all of the different opportunities that we talked about, and then as well as all of our words of wisdom, if you will, that you can feel free to access as much as you like. And what other questions do we have, or what else do my fellow panelists want to throw in here?
One thing that Kevin touched a little bit on that I think is great that I want to highlight is the idea of a scholarship bank. So I don't know if anyone else is as obsessed with Excel as I am, but I definitely recommend for you to keep track of the scholarships that you're applying to, the deadlines. You could have a link to the Google Drive folder that you have all of the scholarship materials in, but this is going to really be key for you to understand what your success rate is at applying for scholarships, and maybe just even keeping track of deadlines along the way. I know that CPS has their awesome form that they've shared with you. You could look at, copying or replicating this information for a style that works for you and for you to keep track. But I definitely think having a scholarship bank, keeping all of the information of the organizations in one place for you to be able to ask questions is great. And the other thing I would like to mention is when you're reaching out for letters of recommendation to teachers, keep in mind, you can use the same letter of recommendation for multiple scholarship opportunities. So be purposeful. And if you are pursuing an engineering or computer science degree, seek out maybe those teachers that know the history of your studies in those areas, and then use that recommendation for all of your applications moving forward. I'll toss it over to Mr. House.
Take advantage of this time. Don't wait till the last minute. Use all of your resources that's at your disposal. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and definitely ask for help. Also, parents, if parents are on the call, make sure you are understanding what the cost of your kids' education is. Every college in the United States has a net price calculator. You can go in, do a rough estimate of what the school will cost you, and then that way you know what your targeted goal is for scholarships. So that way you know I'm just 15,000 short, 10,000 short, 5,000 short of covering the education of my dreams. So make sure you guys are taking advantage of every college's and university net price calculator and know what the cost of that college you want to attend, what the cost will be. And parents, don't be afraid to have that conversation with your students. If the cost of the college is a little too far reach, have that conversation. There's a lot of great institutions in the state of Illinois that will love to have you. And students, you have the unique position where you get to negotiate. And that's something that's not always talked about. You can negotiate admissions, you can negotiate scholarship dollars with colleges. So definitely take advantage of all of that.
And I think something else that Kevin covered that is super important. One does not have to be the first in their class with the 5.0 GPA and the perfect ACT, SAT scores to get a scholarship. We are a merit-based award, Chicago Engineers Foundation. Do we take only the 4.0s and the 5.0s? No. Do we look at those scores? Absolutely. It's part of our review process. Kevin talked a little bit about, again, that insiders look at our scoring. We have multiple criteria that we look at, just like any other scholarship provider. So yes, we are looking at GPAs. We are looking at test scores. But what we're giving more points to when we do our evaluation, your short answers, your essays. If you're including a resume, a portfolio, if you are setting yourself out from your peers who are also filling out those same applications, that's gonna, score you more points, if you will, and that's gonna put you potentially ahead of your peers who are coming in with potentially higher GPAs and higher test scores. So don't let that stop you. Kelly said it as well. Kevin said it. Don't let your GPA and your test scores stop you from filling out a scholarship application. When one is, especially I think in this field in engineering, we're looking for why you want to be an engineer, what you want to do with your degree, what path you want to take in both your undergraduate studies as well as your career. And so we're looking at a well-rounded person. Engineers are problem solvers, they are innovators, they are the ones who are making things better. And our scholarships, probably like a lot of other scholarships, are read by engineering professionals. That's who does our reviews. They are trained volunteers who donate their time, and they are all in the engineering sector. They know what it takes to be an engineer, and they're going to be reviewing your application. So think of it as a future engineer is being looked over by a current engineer. And so show what you have, show what your early inspirations are, show what you want to do with your career and with your studies and where you want to be, 4 or 5 years from now. That all makes a difference when you are being evaluated. So definitely put your best foot forward, but don't worry about the numbers part. They are important, but they're not the be all end all when it comes to scholarships.
1000%.
Sorry, Kelly, can I add one thing real quick? So
Yep.
to my students, right? So don't think that you have to create something brand new, right? So with scholarships, it's okay to copy and paste, right? If you wrote a phenomenal essay and the next 5 scholarships that you have the same essay prompt, copy and paste that exact same essay. Make sure you don't reference, obviously, the previous scholarship's name at all if you do have that. But if the story is the same, just put it in there. If it's a winning essay once, it's going to be a winning essay again. And then to Mr. House's point for the parents, what I tell our students is that even though there's a net price calculator and there's financial cost breakdowns, that's really a sticker price. You really have to account for all the different scenarios that you're going to come up against when you go to college. And so what we do with our students is we map out, hey, do you think you'll live on campus your first 2 years? Okay, well, what dorm do you want to live in? Okay, well, that has a cost. Do you think you'll want to live off campus? Well, then what's that cost? We take the highest cost in each of those categories, map it out for all 4 years, and then project out how much scholarship money the student needs. Because if we get that number, then you're covered full ride all 4 years, regardless of the scenario. And then you also have to make sure you account for inflation as well, because the universities will raise their tuition anywhere from 3 to 5% to account for inflation. So you have to do that as well. It's a business decision to go to school, treat it as such.
Thank you for those tips. The last thing that I was going to add is if you are someone that lives on the edge and likes to submit things close to deadlines, change the deadline for a day or two early for yourself. Our application closes promptly at 11:59 p.m. I know there are many other scholarship organizations who close right then. And if the submission was not received, there's unfortunately no way for us to go back and allow those submissions to enter into that year's pool. So that's definitely something that we recommend to students. Ours is April 15th. So tell yourself that it's April 13th and buy a little bit of time.
And I don't know of any scholarship provider that is able to look at unfinished applications. I know we can't. We get literally hundreds of applications started each year at Chicago Engineers Foundation. We will only be able to evaluate the ones that are fully closed. And those are the ones that are all complete. All the different tabs have been completed online. You've done all the uploads and you've hit that submit button by that April 1st deadline. I think we close around 10 p.m. on April 1st. So definitely make sure if you started an application, if it's one like ours where it's auto saves, you can go in and out, make sure you go back in on that deadline day and make sure that you have hit that submit and everything is done. Because if an application is incomplete, it is automatically put in the other pile, if you will, and we're not able to evaluate any of those. We want to see as many applicants as we can. We have $100,000 each year that we are able to allocate towards graduating high school seniors and then our renewing college students. So please make sure that you've hit all your submit buttons, you get everything in, like Kelly said, by that deadline. So someone is asking if our resources can be found in Spanish. What we can do is if the parent wants to reach out to any of our organizations and find more details, we have volunteers who work with us who do speak Spanish. And so we're happy to figure out a way to work with students and families. If there is a difference in language, we probably have volunteers who are able to make that transition and be able to get those resources to them in either English or Spanish.
Are there any other questions? Thank you all for joining us for Engineering Futures. Thank you to Debbie Burrell with the Chicago Engineers Foundation, the CPS Post-Secondary Success team, Mr. House and Zachary Jesse, and Kevin Banks with Just the Right Amount. It has been a pleasure presenting this event for you all, and we hope that you enjoy the rest of National Engineers Week in Chicago. We will be sending the recording as well as a PDF of the presentation to all of the families and individuals that registered for the event. And as Debbie has mentioned, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to myself or Debbie, and we will be happy to share any of these resources and information with you. Thank you all so much for being here.